Hey, ladies. How are you?
Hey.
Hey, wow. Yes. Oh, my goodness. We are back this week. Episode 53, The Power of Joy. Notice how I said power, said it like Jeanette said it. We were thinking about planning these episodes around power. So this season, Heartbeats and our listeners is all about power, the power of something, the power to do something. Maybe it's the power to take action on something. So we actually baked in a little bit of a little mini series into this episode or into our episodes this season. So a couple episodes ago, we kicked off with the power of surrender, which was Jeanette's word and of the year, so word of the year for 2021. Then we went into the power of flowing with ease, which was Shauna's phrase for the year. And then the power of joy, my word of the year is joy. So this little mini series, I'm loving what Shauna's doing over there if you're watching this video, but this mini series of sorts for like a mini episode series of surrounding our words of the year, which I think is very timely. And that by the time this episode airs, you all will have seen and maybe attended our live tour by then, but we wanted to really dig into this topic. I mean, over the last 18 months or so, coming up on 2 years, there have been a lot of reasons that people don't find joy in things that they do every day. Or maybe it's something that happened to them and changes, just seasonal. I mean, just all of the things, right? Yeah. My word of the year kicked off in December, January time frame. I said, the power of joy. How did I come up with that? I think I shared with you ladies that I was in CVS in the grocery store and I saw this magazine. It was so colorful and people were like jumping around and the magazine said the power of joy. I was like, that is it. That's going to be my word. Because I was looking for vision board ideas and inspiration. And I was like, what is inspiring me? In previous years, I've had words like connections or connecting or maybe budget and finances. I was like, okay, not sexy, not exciting, but I was like, this is exciting to me because I feel like I'm a joyful person. And I was like, I try to inspire others around me to find the joy in even some of the things that may hit them hard. Maybe it's be something negative, maybe it's a family issue, a spouse issue, a kid issue, but I just wanted to find joy in the midst of everything that had been happening over these last couple of years. So that is what this episode's about. I wanted to share that and just talk a little bit about how the three of us kind of got to these points and also how our words are so interconnected. And we did not sit down on a call like this on one of our weekly Wednesdays Heartbeats calls, as most of you all know, Wednesdays is Heartbeats Day and Heart of Chat Day, and say, you were going to pick these words. We just all happened to share at different times. And we said, what are your word? What's your word for the year? Okay, mine is joy. And then we tied them all together. So that's the introduction here. I want to get you all's comments and feedback.
Shauna.
Shauna. Shout out to Uncle. Yes.
Uncle Cedric.
Uncle Cedric. Shout out.
Shauna. Yes. He calls me Shauna.
I love that.
When I think about the word joy, it takes me back to the Marie Kondo system, her thought process, just Japanese, which many of you on this call know. I was an exchange student to Japan when I was 16 years old. I lived over in Tokyo for 4 months, and I actually witnessed how the Japanese handles joy with everything that they do. Is a very gracious, grateful way, from handing you a tray with your change back, from bowing down when you greet each other. Ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning. Everything sparks with joy. One of the things that I saw when I was in overseas that I admired, and I 16 years old, I thought it was weird. But as time go on, I'm like, wow, that was amazing. The whole community comes out on their balcony or porch or outside, even on the street, they stop. And it was like 6, 7 in the morning before, they're hustling and bustling, they're getting to work, but everybody stops and they pause. And this van is driving by and he's saying numbers in Japanese, ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, hachi. And you have people on the van they're exercising, and everyone in the community is exercising together. They stop, they're present, they're stretching. And I'm like, what is this? Everything they did, it was always in a joyful manner. And I picked up that spirit heavily from the Japanese culture. So when Marie Kondo came out, it was like, yes, it's over in America to see what I witnessed and experienced. They're bringing their culture of love for joy here. And I've always been a firm believer with things that sparks joy for you. So I was happy that she named that. She's also on Netflix. She has a Netflix.
Season 2 is out. I love Marie Kondo. Yes.
Okay.
What'd you say, Jeanette?
Season 2 was out. So the first season was around her first book, the Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and then her second book was Spark Joy, and that's what the season 2 is about right now, which is so good. I love Marie Kondo and all things really organizing.
Good. Really good. Yes. And if you love to organize like Jeanette, Lynda, and I, like her methods, like they truly, truly work. And so everything that I have in my life, if it doesn't spark joy anymore, I believe in giving it to somebody that it will spark joy for, you know. And everything that I look at, everything that I touch, I want even down to the pieces of clothing to inspire me in some way, shape, or form. My earrings or bracelets, you know, whatever I have. Even, you know, the same thing with people. I want nothing but like joyfulness around me. So that's how I feel about the word joy. And when I feel it, it feels like sunshine to me.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that, Shauna. Yes. Thank you for bringing up Marie Kondo too. I have to check out the Netflix series. I didn't know it was on season 2. I'm like, oh man, that's great. I love your joy pieces. So Jeanette, what does joy do for you, and how do you see it, how it ties into what we're speaking about in this little episode mini series that we're doing?
For me, it's about the choice of it, the choice of joy, and choosing to be happy or have joy every day, or and seeing joy in different things that happen in life. So that's kind of like where it is for me, because I'm not a naturally overtly joyful, happy person. Like when I'm with my friends, you know, we have fun and stuff like that. But like even when like things happen I'm excited about, I'm like very low key about it. I don't know why, but you know, whatever. Shauna will keep doing that inner child work on me and we'll figure it out. But but like I have it, but just I don't always express it like the way you and Shauna do. Like Shauna is like, yeah, like, which I appreciate that, and I need her to continue to do that, because then it like gives me room to like, you know, to do the same. But for me though, it's like what I said, it's the choice. And because it's so easy to complain and to be down about things and to see all the negative things. And so for me, it's knowing that I make a choice every day to find joy, to find my joy and my peace, and just, you know, embracing it. And so for me, it's just intentionally trying to embrace that every day.
I love that too. Yeah, I think, you know, and I guess in addition to me, I mean, I've always been kind of an upbeat sort of person, just even in things that, you know, happen in my younger years, my parents splitting up, and, you know, eventually they became, you know, pretty good friends and such. We moved to Maryland in the DC area. And it was like, oh, I would find joy in that somehow, you know, making sure that, you know, my dad was very good at just, you know, keeping in touch with us. We would go see him, you know, even everything to the bus ride / the train ride up to New Jersey from DC. It was just like, oh, this is cool. We can be in a train. And I would always find joy in that, you know, even the crazy people that would be on the bus, like we would do Trailways. Some of you guys remember Trailways, and also Greyhound. It was like, oh, okay, it's time to get off this bus now. We eventually started taking the Amtrak up there. It was just like super cool. So just small things like that. And I think it's helped, you know, kind of shape the person that I am and still becoming, because there are, you know, there's work in that too. And the person you are and the person you're still becoming, because we're growing every day. And maybe like Jeanette said, to the point of things that we may complain about, like whether it be work or too long of hours. Some of those things are legit, but then how do you find joy in that? Maybe it's peeling back those hours so you get an hour of joy in your life. How do you insert it? Maybe it's a treat on Fridays. I think I shared in the last episode, I have dessert Fridays.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, how am I going to do Island Beats if I'm sitting here eating a whole bowl of ice cream every day? All right, Lynda, you got to have some sweet. So I got to be able to reward myself with the things that bring me joy. I love, love, love ice cream. And that is like my thing. So my reward system centers around that, and it brings me joy that, ooh, it's Friday. But then I could easily say, okay, so most people know we record our episodes. We pre-record most of our episodes. Recording on Sunday. I could look at this and be like, oh, today's Sunday. I got 6 more days so I can have dessert again. Mm-hmm. I'm flipping that around and say, okay, oh yeah, you know what? Friday, I have all these things to look forward to. That could easily be a negative because could be different things. Maybe I shouldn't be eating as much ice cream. Maybe, my sugar is high or whatever, but flipping that around and taking that same situation and turning it into something positive, there's joy in that. So, I mean, that's a concrete, just example of how you can turn things around and make it something joyful. So I definitely wanted to bring that point up.
Definitely. And I was thinking when you were talking about when you do feel like that, right? You feel negative sometimes, or you feel like that, like intentionally putting yourself around people. I really see people, I don't know if y'all have, but I have. I'm like, you're just always happy. Like, I get really happy all the time. Like, really, like she just always happy. She just woke up happy. But sometimes like you need to put yourself around that energy of people that are in places where you want to be, right? Mm-hmm. It might not rub off immediately, but after a while you'll start to feel like oh, let me not complain because I don't want to be the negative one in the group. Like let me find something to be happy about today, or whatever the case may be. But like just placing yourself around people that exude that, mm-hmm. It'll rub off on you. I guarantee.
And there's power in that too, and sometimes you have to be careful that it doesn't work the opposite way. Because I've been in situations where I'm the one that's like the cheer and joy person. Everybody else is like around me. Oh my God, why is she doing this? And then we have all this going on. So I creatively remove myself from those situations when I can.
That's true.
Because if it's work related or something I have to do, because it's like, oh, I've got to be on this call, but I know these folks are not those kind of folks. What's that?
I just had a vision that you're on a call around some like negative people that your attitudes is not in the right place, and you're like the brightest thing in the room. And I just had this vision that you were around and you were like, okay, you light your candle, you had a bonnet on your head, and you was all like this on the call.
Oh man, how true is that? And I needed that candle and that bonnet about 3 weeks ago. So we're gonna leave it there.
I'm saying leave it there. In a situation like that, hold on to something like a pacifier that keeps you through that little storm that you may be in, because it can take you down if you allow it and you don't keep your energy, at the frequency that you're supposed to keep it at.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of things you ladies said that I really, really struck a chord with me. One, Jeanette, is intentionally choosing joy. Mm-hmm. Like, being intentional about what you want. It's the same thing with happiness. Happiness is a choice. Yes. It's not something that
somebody else can appear for you.
For you. You have to choose to be happy every day of the week, every opportunity that you can. And Lynda, when you brought up the word becoming, it threw me into Michelle Obama's book. Mm-hmm. That's the all-around growth that it takes to become the best person that you can be in your life so that you are happy. And I was also thinking about pausing and connecting with joy.
Yes.
I think we often are just moving, grooving, doing all of the things. And it's in Lynda, you came in the year saying, I want to find joy in everything I do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You came in the year saying that.
Yeah.
And that struck a chord with me. And that meant no matter if it's a mundane task, like cleaning up, we do dance parties around here. We put the
Yes.
music
Got to
on.
have some
We
music.
are not cleaning without music.
Yes.
Finding joy in cleaning up.
Mm-hmm.
So those things are all ways that you can keep your frequency high with joy.
Well, I like what you said about pausing and connecting with joy, because it's not just about, oh, I'm just going to choose to be upbeat today. But sometimes it's, like you said, connecting with the things that bring joy to your life, right? Like, oh, I remember, last year, this time, I was like sitting outside on my porch every day for a little bit. And like, that was like my thing. It made me happy. And as much as I love my children, they were like, oh, can I come outside with you? I'm like, not right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mommy needs some time to herself. And then I will let you come outside and play too. But right now, this is mommy's time. But so just like reconnecting with the things, like whether it's watering my plants. And I went through like probably like a week and a half where I just neglected my babies. So poor, my poor little babies. And I was looking at them one day and I was like, oh, y'all look so sad. Like, hold on, let me get y'all some water.
Spark some joy in you.
Yes. But I felt good. It made me feel good. And I remember like, this is why I got all of you, because just the task of like, because I think what it is for me with the plants is it forces me to just slow down and be present with one thing. Like I can't be sending an email and watering a plant at the same time, because it just isn't going to work. And there's so many little things like, oh, I water them all, then I go back and I empty the excess water out, and then I make sure wipe down a leak. Like you have to be really present, and it just forces me to slow down. And I mean, I could be in my thoughts, but I can't be multitasking, doing 50 million things. And so when you said pause and connect with joy, I think that is really important for people to think about, is like, what are some things that you can do, or what are some things in your life that you can connect with that you really love, that you haven't connected with in a while, whether it's a phone call with a friend that every time you talk to this person, they make you happy, y'all feel good, y'all laugh, you have inside jokes, like all the things, like just finding something that can connect you back to your joy.
Yeah, I really like that a lot. And I was thinking about one of my tall sister friends, Tracy. I mean, we would travel, and when COVID hit, all the things, we were like, oh, but the first thing we did was like, we both love to eat. So like 5 days before we were supposed to go, she had texted me and I thought she was canceling. I said, what's wrong? You can't go. And I was like freaking out. She was like, no, I was looking at the menu. I was like, yes, see that right there. Girl, she was rolling. I was nervous. So like 5-6 days before we were supposed to go to this restaurant here, they just put one here in the DC area called Yardbird. There's one in Miami and a couple of others. Really, really great food. The one here in DC is absolutely fabulous. And that is our thing. Like I was like so joyful that day. We drove down there and just had a great time. So, you're pausing and connecting with people and different things. I know our thing is food and traveling. That's what we do. And we've already talked about another dessert place that just opened here called the Cake Room in DC. I'm like, ooh, I was looking it up yesterday. Like, ooh, going there too. So those little things like that, and certain people, like there's certain friends of mine, oh, I don't eat all these different foods. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and call Tracy then, because that's what we do. That's how we roll. So,
and don't force stuff, right? Like don't force stuff on people that is not for them. Right. If that is something you love, then just either go do it by yourself or find somebody that loves it just as much.
Yes.
It's gonna be fun that way.
Yeah, you don't have to do everything with everybody. That's
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that point, Jeanette. Yeah. Yes, joy is. I just remember thinking back to earlier this year, and it was just browsing, in CVS. I just picked up the magazine, and I was beating myself up when I got home. Why did I not pick up like 5 copies of this magazine? So I don't know if I went back like the same day, or maybe it was a few days later. First thing I did was mail you ladies a copy of the magazine. That's the first thing I did. I was like, oh, y'all have to get this. And they had various covers of that. I think it was People? The People or Newsweek? It was one of the two. I'll look it up.
No, it was. I think it was Newsweek.
It was a Newsweek because I cut it.
Not Time. It wasn't Time.
Yeah, I cut it out because what I did for my vision board, The Power of Joy.
What did you say, Jeanette?
What's she saying? It was
Time.
It was Time. Yes. Okay. Yes, thank you, Shauna.
And so my cover is different than yours.
Your
Mine's
cover is
upstairs.
different.
I can't get to mine as quick as
This
Shauna.
was a great one that you chose for me because
Yeah,
that's Shauna.
Yes, I intentionally chose that for you. So Time Magazine had different covers with the same title, The Power of Joy. So the one I have is a different cover than Shauna's, and I cut it out and I put it smack in the middle of my vision board. I'm looking over here to my left. And here, this is a very powerful phrase here. It says, the power of joy, elevate your life, finding joy in trying times, a spiritual journey. So those were like the taglines that, and I mean, I don't know, it just really spoke to me. And I was
cover.
like,
that's the cover I think I got.
Oh,
that's the cover that you got, Jeanette. Yeah, that's the same one I have, Shauna. And I did try to find another one just like it so we could all three of us have the same, but maybe we could order another one or something. But I just was like, wow, elevating your life, finding joy in trying times. And who would have guessed that? I think all of us would have needed that, especially this year. I mean, Shauna, earlier this year, you lost your aunt. About a week and a half later, I lost my stepmom, Julie. And just, who would have known? I mean, it was just really hard. And then having to flow through all that, having to surrender with, making arrangements and all the things with that. I mean, I don't know. I think I had the foundation, even though our world was rocked with all those things. I had the foundation, but I let myself feel the feels, through all of that, but also trying to find little bits of joy. So one of the joys that did happen about 2 weeks after Julie's passing, we met up, the three of us, for the first time in Raleigh. That was the first time all three of us had been together in one city at the same time.
Talk about joy.
And I was like, I was on the fence about coming. I was like, no, I'm going to make the trip happen. I put Maddie in the car. We put Milo, Maddie's pet lizard, in the car. And we made that trip. We made that trip to North Carolina. And it was nothing I wasn't going to do to not be there, even if I wasn't at my best, which I wasn't. But I did find joy in a lot of the moments that I spent with you ladies, and that getting that time with Maddie, that one-on-one time with her was just really wonderful too. So that's where I think this kind of kicked off for me.
One of my joyful activities that we did was drinking Amaretto sour by the fire.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Oh yeah. That was great.
The rooftops were great. And I think Maddie's reaction to the rooftop was great.
Her reaction to the rooftop and her reaction to the ice cream shop.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then like for me, like just like when like her and the bike, like us sneaking off and getting the bike, and then her popping up.
So and we have
I was living out my inner child through her.
I have a really cute picture of her.
Maddie is Jeanette's inner child. Mm-hmm. And Jeanette's daughter Ryan is my inner child.
Oh. Yeah, it was great. I have a picture of Maddie on the rooftop with the trees in the background. We have to share that. And just the look on her face, she was just smiling. It was just
she was so happy. Like she was like every pep in the step, in the walk, in the look, in the we the heart of chat. She is professionally taking photos of us. So those photos of us, if you see the three of us in Raleigh, all of those was taken by Maddie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Jeanette just showed her what to do, and she did it.
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah, she loves it. She loves it. So yeah, we'll have her on soon. But yeah, she's joyful in her ways, just seeing her in different settings. And it makes me show up as a better person, a better mom. And just like, she's asked me for the last couple of weekends if she could go to her friend's house for the weekend, because they hadn't seen each other in 2 years, due to COVID. So she spent the night over there. She said, Mommy, can I go back again? I was like, well, as long as it's okay with her mom. I'm trying to structure it. And she said, Mom, it's fine. I'm like, okay. And the mom was like, yeah, sure. She can come. So she's, hanging out over there and just seeing how happy she is. That definitely brings me joy too.
I like what you said though. And I think, and then that's like the reverse of something we were talking about earlier, like, if you lack it, putting yourself around others, but also if you have an abundance of it, or if you're just naturally a positive person, recognizing that the effect that you have on people, and when you walk into a room and like realizing that you are missed, like, what I'm saying? Like we joke about like being on quarantine and like how Lynda used to walk into the room like, good morning, everybody, coming into work and stuff. You know, like they miss that. Like the people probably light up, I'm sure. When you get on them Zooms, they be excited to see them. Like, oh, Lynda's here. Oh, I'm coming to this meeting then. Okay.
Yeah, they don't want to admit it though. They don't be trying to admit it though, because I know, because I be calling them out. They try not to admit it. Yeah, it's like, oh my goodness.
But that's a gift, and like people like always think that like your gifts are and your purpose is always tied to like a talent, like singing, dancing, being an artist and things like that. But
it's more than that.
It's more than that. And like it's a true gift to just to be a positive person and be able to not be jaded by life and see things, you know, in a positive way, even when the worst could be happening to you. And to show up in that way, like it's a gift. And whether people tell you or not, like, you know, they appreciate that about you.
Yeah. I wonder that too sometimes, like, you know, on my calls and different things like that. And I'm like, hey, everybody, good morning. Sometimes their cameras be off, or, you know, I kind of chuckle to myself a little bit, because I said, should I be extra today, or should I just be Lynda? And sometimes I kind of sprinkle it in there, and I let them know that this is what y'all gonna get today. Now, old me would have never done that. I would have tried to like dial it back or dial it down a little bit, because they're not in such great places, whether something happened over the weekend or they just don't want to be at work today, or I scheduled a meeting for 9:00 on a Monday. It could be any variation of whatever. But, you know, one, we have to get the work done, and two, it's like we're here to support each other. So that kind of carrying that message through, they might not be exactly happy to hear this, but I mean, are you happy that someone is showing up and being their best self, and also delivering on whatever initiatives or activities that we're trying to get done in this space? Because we got to work, right? So it can't just be like hanging out and just like, oh, I'm gonna lay on the couch all day. You know, I wouldn't have a job, wouldn't be able to feed my family, and so forth and so on. So I choose joy, and I choose to do those things with joy. So if they don't like it now, I used to be really sensitive about it. Why are you so happy? I haven't had coffee yet. Well, and then, you know, one time I was like, oh, well, here's a cup, you know, you might be smart. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to add liquor to it.
Yeah, exactly. And I would have never done that. Old Lynda wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't be handing nobody no cup of coffee. I would have been like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, apologizing. Oh, here's a cup of coffee right here.
Not apologize for taking up that kind of space like that.
Right. I still do it a little bit. So it's like the 80-20 rule, but you know.
But look, like there's some mornings where I woke up and I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't feel like this. And then I'm like, I'm some Marco Polo this morning. And I'm like, oh, it's Lynda. And then it's like immediately changes your mood. And it's like, okay, well, before I hit record, let me put a smile on my face too. I could be happy too. So I say keep showing up as yourself. Don't let other people try to make you feel bad for not wearing, like it doesn't mean that Lynda or Shauna have not gone through stuff or isn't going through something just because they choose to show up with a smile on their face. Like they do, but they just choose not to wear it on their sleeve. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where am I gonna write it all on my face? Well, it was me out in the martyr. What they did in the Bible, put the ash mark on their face.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or live there, right?
Live there, right? Like I can honor my feelings of sadness and still have joy at the same time.
You can.
You can. I mean, yeah, this time of year, I mean, we're in late October. This time of year is like, oh, you're creeping up on the holidays again. This will be like the 11th year or so without my dad being here. The holidays is my dad's favorite time of the year, right? Because he got sick around this time and he passed away right after the new year in 2010. So I could easily just be like, oh, so I was like, okay, what would my dad want me to do? You know, honoring him. And he would want us to be happy. He, even like when he was passing away, he's like, Lynda, you're missing your job. You got to go to work. I was like, no, Dad, I'm here with you. I'm being present with you. This is where I need to be. He was still telling me to go to work. You got to keep your job and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I know his favorite holiday was Christmas, and then my birthday and his birthday was right after that. So that sort of November to like early February timeframe is like, ooh, that's always like a tough time for me. So I'm trying to like finding joy and maybe thinking about a phrase that he would say, or some of his old school ways, you know, of doing different things. And he was very organized. So I was like, all right, he's not here, but how can I honor him in a way, always try to honor him on his birthday. His birthday's January 19th and mine is January 2nd. So it's like, okay, how can I still honor him in such a way that would still bring me joy, and also putting that out there for other people who may have lost a parent, lost a loved one, in such a way that, you're showing up for them, but you're also doing that inner healing work, because it's still hard. It's been 11 years, but it's still hard. And I look at the holidays, I'm like, oh, every year it's like, wow, it's like it gets further and further away almost. It's almost like that Biggie Smalls album with the cover when his hand is like this. If you guys are watching this video, it's like, ooh, it's like going away way far. Y'all know I got to tie it into something.
Music for entertainment, really.
Yes, the entertainment, say slight entertainment twist here, 30 seconds. But it's sort of like that. And it's just like, oh, I don't want the joy to slip away like that. That's why I love that album cover so much, because I still want to grab and grasp onto that. But yeah, I mean, that's sort of my thoughts on that. Just wanted to talk a little bit about that. Yeah, this is great. I love that. I love how our words, not only the words, but the episodes tie in, and people can kind of have a roadmap to how, you thinking about your word. And maybe it's something that just shows up for you. I think all three of us said this. We didn't give a whole lot of thought into planning what our words are going to be, but how it resonated with us and how it showed up for us. And with our heartbeats that are listening out there, think about that. And sometimes you may plan it. Like you probably, like last year, 2020 was like, I am working on my finances. That's all I'm going to do.
I remember her year of money, her year of finances.
I download every money saving app and Acorns, Digit. I'm getting rid of all these crazy subscriptions. And in the first 2 months, I was like, yes, I met my goals, right? This year, 2021, I knew it was going to be different. And maybe it's because we started this beautiful podcast, this collaboration, this collective. Maybe it's another reason. I was like, joy, that's what it's going to be.
But let me tell you though, when you choose these words, you got to be real careful, because it's not going to just be like, oh, okay, every day just go out and practice joy. Like, no, I'm going to test you and see how much joy do you have after this. You still got joy today? Right. Oh, you said you wanted more joy. So how are you going to, find joy in this moment? And I'm not saying it's always going to be that hard, or it's not always going to be extreme, but it's not like the word for the year is usually to stretch you, and it's not going to just be easy. That one year I chose patience, and I was like, Lord, why did I choose this word? I'm scared. Why? I was like, no, can I have a do-over? Because I don't want no more patience. I don't want some more tests.
Right. You're not testing me.
That's my patience. But yeah, so it's gonna give you opportunities to practice the things that you say that you want. And it's not always gonna just be fun.
Yeah.
What true. I love about the 3 parts to our year in 2021 that's thrust us into where we are now with our season 3 is divinely, some kind of way, universally, it created a process to help our heartbeats and ourselves. And it's actually almost like a chapter. Chapter 1, surrender. Chapter 2, flow with ease. Chapter 3, do it with joy.
Chapter 4, live the life you desire.
Yes. Say
that.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, you nailed that. Yes, for sure. So yes, to tag on to what Jeanette did in the last episode, do we want to take a little intermission and talk about Live the Life You Desire, our tour? And I think our tour probably would have happened by now, right? Was this because this episode?
When does this one air?
Okay.
It's going to air right after. So
it's going to air right after. Yes. So I think
that means Insecure would have happened.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. I'm pulling it up now, y'all. Ooh, look at this. I'm looking at this now. So yeah, The Power of Joy. Yes, it airs 2 days after our live tour in Cleveland. And then, yes, we talk about Insecure a lot and how we got our idea about the power of something, power, for all of our episodes for this season. But yes.
So if you missed it, right? If you missed the tour, the recording from the live show should be up soon, if not already. But there will be another opportunity. We have some more dates coming up that we will be re-announcing soon. And we just hopefully look forward to more of you coming out and joining us live. But just follow us and subscribe to find out when that's going to happen.
Yes, yes. Keep up with us. We will keep up with you all as well. I mean, it's just been a great journey. And for those of you who attended the live show, we thank you. We love you. Our heartbeats, you all rock. We look at continuing to do everything with joy, surrendering to some of the things that we had to surrender to, and flowing with ease. So I feel that, we love your feedback, and we just want to always keep getting better and just keep doing that work, that beautiful work that has brought this beautiful collaboration together. And just, we hope that, you're loving and living this with us, living the life you desire.
Living the life that you desire, and relying on having a strong tribe around you while you're doing this work, because it's so hard
and makes a difference
by yourself.
It makes a huge difference.
It does.
To have the right set of people around you.
Yeah, I spoke at an event recently here in DC earlier this month, and it was a great, collaboration with the lady that her name is Michelle Hammond. Shout out to her. She's doing great work. She pulled together this amazing collaboration with myself, another lady. She has a podcast as well. And then another person who was the keynote speaker, just doing the work. And in that, we talked about I think it was Go As We Grow. And that was the title of the meetup, and just doing that work. We each touched on things that, we talked about joy, we talked about giving each other space, but also giving of ourselves and sharing that joy with those folks that were there. So it was 10 of us, and we went to a beautiful place here in DC called Cuba Libre. Really good food, nice restaurant. Yeah, it turns into a salsa joint on Saturday nights if you're here in the area. Baby. Check it out. But yeah, just thinking back to that and speaking with those women and doing the work by yourself. There was one lady there, she talked about how she's doing all the things by herself. And just she has a podcast as well. She's also a vlogger. And she was like, I'm doing this. So she's playing all the roles. She's the expert, she's the inside person, and she's the outside person. Yeah. And we talked, and I think myself and a lady, her name is Lisa Dove Washington, and we both said at the same time, you need a team. You need people you can trust and rely on, because you want to still find that joy in what you're doing. When she's doing great work, but we don't want her to get discouraged. So we were showing her how we were showing up. And I think I just wanted to give that little tidbit there. But yeah, just doing this work is hard, and doing it alone is harder.
It's so easy to burn out. And even if you are doing something you love, that's what people are like, oh yeah, you're passionate about it, you should do this, you should run with it. And it's great, but it can really rob you of like your love for something if you allow yourself to burn out and you're doing it all by yourself. So definitely get help when you can. Ask for help. Find that support system. It's really important.
It is. It definitely is. Yeah.
Okay, ladies. So, as I was saying, any final words or remarks for our heartbeats around the subject of joy?
Yeah, thank you. Just thank you for tuning in. I mean, a lot of tangible tips here on bringing joy and weaving it into everything you do, your everyday life, the people you walk and talk with, and just even when you're by yourself, that getting that time to really reflect. I think it's about reflections, kind of a tag on to Shauna's reflection series as well. What we see, what we exude each day. I'd want to leave our heartbeats with that. And just to tie in what Jeanette said about being intentional.
Awesome.
I wanted to add, if there's anyone out there struggling to even know what the feeling of being joyful is, it's a feeling of being lit from head to toe. Any little thing, like such as Lynda mentioned about ice cream, anything that sparks anything inside of you, that is joy. And you want to relish in that. You want to choose it, be intentional, pay attention to it, because it's in our lives all day long. We just have to choose to lean into it.
Yeah. And on that note, I was going to say, just really think about when was the last time that you felt joy and or created joy in your life, and just journal and reflect on it, right? And then see what comes up, what might be lacking or missing, and start there, and then just start being more intentional, as intentional as you can.
Yeah. Love that. Great points, ladies. This is awesome. This rounds out our series of our words of the year. Surrender, words or phrases, surrender, flowing in ease, flowing with ease, and then the power of joy. So joy. So yeah, we love this topic. So yeah, we thank our heartbeats for tuning in for this mini series episode. For sure. So Shauna, do you want to tell everyone where to find us, how they can connect with us?
Yes, you could find us on all the platforms at the Heart of Chat. And come back next week and every week, everybody, because it's going to be Fuego, baby. Come back.
She did not. You did not. Wow.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out.
Yeah. Thank you, Shauna. Thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you, ladies.
That was joyful for you.
Bye, ladies.
Big time.
Bye, ladies.
Bye. Bye, ladies.